Alright, welcome back to round 2, guys. We're watching Sean Brown playing Eldrazi Stompy versus Cael McGann on Grixis Delver. It should be a close match. There's a lot of interaction between the two decks that can sort of ruin each other. We've got sort of the Stompy side on Sean's side with Chalice and Thought Not Seer and just general Eldrazi stuff.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of haymakers. Thought Not Seer and Cabin of Souls are both insane. And, the deck lends itself to some very explosive draws with the amount of soul lands and mimics it plays.
And Cael is just playing good old reliable Grixis Delver, some Pyromancer, Cabal Therapy, Git Probe. Keeping the format fair. So
good, just doing a hard day's work. So we've got a Chalice in the Void on 1.
Both players kept their 7, and Chalice resolves.
Sweet, that's not very good for Cael.
So approximately 90% of his deck is now turned off.
He plays Force.
That's about it.
Yep. Sweet, so Cael does have some play testing cards.
We're not sure. I think it's a fetch land. It could not be. So Sean's got a turn. Jesus Christ, 4/4 on turn 2.
It's not the best 4/4 on the deck, though.
It's not the best turn 2 4/4.
The best turn 2 4/4 is definitely Vendilion Click's older brother.
So Cael runs a Gitaxian Probe into a Chalice. Sean doesn't fall for the bait and passes back. Cael's at 18.
Jeez, that's generous of Sean.
So Sean's done a bit of damage to himself now, but we've got a turn 3 Mimic.
That's a Reality Smasher.
Reality Smasher, not Mimic.
That is getting in there for 9. Reality Smasher, one of the worst design cards in recent times. I'm not salty about it at all. Sweet, so
Cael packs it up with no way to stop the board or control Sean's growth.
Cael is, I wouldn't say favoured on the play because I think it's like a very much Sean's deck is very much designed to prey on the fair, small creature decks. Plays a lot of 1-drops. He plays a lot of Chalices, plays bigger creatures. But being on the play makes you Dazes live, where...
And Spell Pierce can get a Chalice.
Yeah, you really need a way to interact with the turn 1 Chalice with this deck. Grixis Delver struggles.
Looks like Cael's got some good sideboard cards though. He's brought in a Winter Orb, a Forked Bolt I'm not sure on. He's got Painful Truths.
Ancient Grudge is definitely on there.
Ancient Grudge definitely coming in. And there's a Fire Covenant, and Baleful Strix is a haymaker in this.
Yeah, Baleful Strix should be coming in. Come on, boy. Arguably, he should be playing his Dragon Breath.
Dragon Breath.
No, I reckon that's tech.
Might make Baleful Strix really good.
Yeah, what's his sideboarding out here? Taking out Cabal Therapies on the play? Okay.
I can see it. It's a bit of a do-nothing card. He really wants to interact with the board, but he should probably also be looking to... The combination between Young Pyromancer... Well, he's only taking out 2. Although I think they only play 2 main now. That's pretty standard.
Yeah, from what I've seen of Cael's list, he's very much on the... His flex slots are pretty much always 2 Dismember.
Yeah, and they seem excellent against Eldrazi, so...
They're good. It gives you a way to interact. You got 2 cards in your deck to do that. You interact on the stack, and then sometimes you can chump like a Reality Smasher and bolt it. Doesn't feel good, man.
Doesn't feel good. And Sean's probably just bringing in some small creature hate, so Jit, removal if he's got any. I feel like Sean's probably doesn't need to board too much for this matchup. He's got a good game plan against Delver to just out-tempo the tempo deck.
Yeah, by playing lands that do more than the puny lands on Cael's side of the field.
Yeah. So, it was a quick game 1. Players shuffling up for game 2 now.
Okay, so this is one of the more awkward things I've witnessed in my life. Okay. So we've got a Force and a Daze. This is a good start. There's a Gurmag Angler in his hand.
Gurmag's a quality threat in this matchup.
Is that Gurms? Okay, I'll give me a look at your hand.
Well, they're keeping, so both players keeping 7. Cael cracking Occluded Delta into when we won't know what land it is. You probably won't help us out.
I believe that's a Gutter Snipe. So Polluted Delta into Gutter Snipe.
Oh, it's probably Volcanic Island actually, because it's a mountain. So Volcanic into Ponder. We're looking at a Gurmag.
That's a good Ponder.
What were the other 2 cards?
A Gurmag Angler and another mystery land and a Delver of Secrets.
I think Cael decides to keep with the days. Wow, look at that. Days being used on turn 1.
Whew.
Who knew to do that?
Tell you what, Cael's a more powerful wizard.
So, Cael using days effectively, unlike me. So that counters a Matter Reshaper.
It is not. That's an Eldrazi Mimic. That's the one that copies whatever comes in.
Oh, who cares? It's all shit.
Oath of the Gatewatch was the worst block of all time. I hate it.
The Cael cracks unlimited, tells it down to 18. Fetches out what I can only imagine is an Underground Sea.
He's got a Gitaxian Probe in his hand. He might be going for the Gitaxian Probe and Gomag Angler line, which is pretty good.
Oh, he plays a Delver. I like it. An early threat, also powerful Magician.
He's left himself with 4 Skip Probe, which is pretty good.
It's a fine consolidation prize. So Sean plays Mishra's Factory. That's disgusting whiteboard. Exile Simian Spirit Guide for 4 mana. And this is a Thought Not Seer.
Ooh, I hate that card. There is a bit of a saving grace for Cael in this matchup. Sean's already dealt 4 to himself.
Yeah. And the Delver can clock. There's no real way for Eldrazi to block it. But Cael decides to just get rid of the Thought Not Seer. I think it's a good choice. He wants to keep Gomag Angler.
Yeah, he needs to stay ahead on the board.
The 5/5 is pretty big too. It trades with the Smasher chump blocks or smashes through a Thought Not Seer.
Until they start getting their GT ridiculousness on board. It's
Delver fails to flip. Cael. So now he's got the choice between playing a Delver or exiling everything for a Gomag Angler.
If that was a fetch land, I would probably just play both.
Not a fetch land, no. So Gomag Angler comes in. Sean's on a quick clock now too. How does it feel, Sean?
Yes, sweet. Cael's hand at this point is Delver of Secrets, Dismember.
So Sean pointing out he's tapping Ancient Tomb for black because of Urborg, not taking 2 life from it. Now, is that a Mimic or a
That is a
Reshaper?
Matter Reshaper. That is the 3-cost 3/2 that puts a permanent into play when it dies from the top of your library. So, Cael just drawn a Wasteland, which is incredible in the matchup, as you can imagine, because it's like wastelanding 2 lands at once. Feels fantastic.
Sean's a bit pinned on mana as well. He's sort of he's spinning his wheels a lot, not getting anywhere. Reshaper blocks and not the one he wants to see. I think he's looking for a land at this stage.
Yeah, if he hits an Iabug in there, he could just be off to the races.
So Cael's thinking, I think the Wasteland's pretty... Another Delver and a Wasteland. These are some one-sided games.
Yeah, I found that. Like, this is very much your standard Stompy matchup. Like, Eldrazi runs into the same pitfalls as all of the Ancient Tomb decks do, in that they don't cantrip, they can be like reasonably inconsistent.
And
but
they've got no way to catch up.
But they do have very explosive, very powerful draws.
So Sean pinned on 2 mana. His deck's not doing quite a lot, not much this moment. Warping Whale on the upkeep to exile one of the Delvers.
It don't matter. You just let that resolve.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about it anyway, and I don't think Cael really cares at this stage. Sean's probably in close to single-digit life totals at this stage.
Yeah, we should definitely get a different life counter next time.
Like an iPad. Apologies to those trying to keep track. My phone isn't working well. Sure, it looks like they're catching on some Ancient Tomb damage, or just the attack. So the attack for 6.
Sweet. I think Sean's contemplating packing it up. Go home, Eldrazi boy.
Exile Simian Spirit Guide casts Reshaper.
This is actually one of the stronger cards in like the strategy, I believe. Like it's
right now, it's doing quite well. It's just buying time. So Delver flips to a Ponder. Cael's lazy, doesn't flip it. But Reshaper brings in the Simian Spirit Guide.
Yeah, like Reshaper enables the Eldrazi deck to keep cards in its hand, essentially like play threats and sustain cards, because like let's face it, its card draw options are 1 per turn in your draw step.
Cael ponders, finds Deathrite Shaman, Ponder, Wasteland. I think the Wasteland will just about do it here.
Yep. Also, the interaction between Urbolg and Ayabugan is the most ridiculous thing. One deck gets to play Mishra's Workshop, and that ain't fair. Even if it's the 2-card Mishra's Workshop, I'm not okay with it.
Which land do you like taking out here? Do you like taking out the factory or the Urbolg?
I just like taking out the factory because it kind of like takes him off a turn of jump blocking.
I agree. I also think his deck can't cast anything with colour. And Sean packs it in. So, bit of racing going on there. Sort of a bit of two ships passing the night in that game. Although, I mean, to be fair, Cael did have the early days in the Force. McGann is quite the powerful threat. So Sean looks like he's doing this. He's taking Warping Whales on the play, which I agree with. He's got Chalices kept in, which is also good. Why am I saying this? This is the fucking worst commentary of all time.
Chalice of the Void, confirmed good against one drops. Ooh, riveting stuff. So Grixis Delvers really got limited outs to a resolved Chalice. Like, you play in a singleton, like a Miser's Ancient Grudge a lot of the time.
Some Grixis lists have Abrupt Decay, which can be good and bad against Eldrazi.
Yeah, it's pretty tough off the one drop. So I see Sean's got Revokers in the board. It's probably good to just leave them out. Like, yeah. Eldrazi doesn't care about his graveyard. Deathrite Shaman's just often a thorn in its side, but not really a threat. It's not the quickest clock in the world. No, and it dies too easily. It dies in combat with everything, and it's not really where you want to be in the matchup. You're just trying to punch face in the face with your own face. Yep. Sean rocking the Fated Conflagration matchup. Matt versus the Griselbrand Matt. I'm gonna have to definitely give this to the Griselbrand Matt.
Ban Griselbrand.
Griselband. Hey, cut that shit out.
In Lagucci, Griselbrand can be banned.
Okay, so
the players are taking this sweet time shuffling. We are playing this at 1.3 times the original speed.
So we watched it at regular speed before. They were shuffling before game 3 for 45 minutes.
We're currently approaching light speed now.
Sean's hands were bleeding by the end of it. It was like really gruesome.
So thanks to the magic of video editing, we're just gonna watch some Sean talk about something. Cael, all-time good guy. Cael, do you know Cael was top 4 Nationals of Australia MTG 2001?
No, I did not.
He actually did. Playing Fires.
Fires?
Yeah. Fires. That was Fires of the Avimaya, Richard and Port, although that was Richard and Port the metagame. Every time Wizards print a good colourless land, it seems that that deck goes in every single land. Sorry, that land goes in every single deck.
Yeah. Did you see the new land from the Commander 2016 cycle?
I did not.
So it's a
Mulligan from Sean here.
So it's a land that taps for colourless, but it's got basic land cycling, cost of 1. It comes in untapped.
Okay.
Well, I think we could be onto something here. I think that's quite a good card.
It should be good in Modern. Alright, so let's have a look. So Cael looks like he's keeping.
Supplemental products aren't legal in Modern, Matt.
What's Modern anyway?
My favourite format. To be honest, if I could play one Magic format, it would be 2014 Modern. Pre-Twin Man.
Pre-Twin Man Modern.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just nostalgic about it.
So what's Cael keeping in there? I can see a Wasteland, a Force, it looks like a Brainstorm.
Okay, so from what I can see, he's got Fetchland, Deathrite, Wasteland. So that with a Daze in hand. So this is a very, very good opener. I mean, if he's got a cantrip to follow it up with, to try to find some real action, or a second Wasteland.
Just another Gurmag.
Actually, he's got a second Fetchland of the Brainstorm. Cael confirmed for powerful. Sean resolving a mulligan like an inferior wizard.
You don't come forth in Australian Nationals in 2001 by being an inferior wizard.
Only the best. Ooh, yeah, that's what I want to see. The Eye of Ugin Chalice of the Void hand.
It's gonna pair. So Sean scries a Mishra's Factory and I'm keeping that on top. Sean. Okay. You want more mana? He's got Wasteland. Do it.
Oh, good.
Or puts it to the bottom.
No, there's a Soul Land on top. Sean's powerful.
Was it a Soul Land? Did you put it to the top or bottom? Oh, right. You put the Factory to the bottom.
Yeah. The silly interaction between Ayabugan and Eldrazi Mimic is it costs nothing, and you can play multiple on turn 1. Sometimes that card generates 6 mana on turn 1. fair and balanced.
That is very fair. So Cael not going for the Steve plan of wasteland anything inside for no reason. Probably a good idea.
Well, the thing is, this gets him to 2 mana on turn 2 if he doesn't daze anything.
Yes.
Like, which is good. Like, you can get caught in the trap of getting caught in the top deck wall with an opponent playing soul lands.
Yeah, I can see that going poorly.
Ooh, Sean's got the Ancient Tomb.
Well, he powerful wizard.
Whew.
Soul land on top. So Sean's in the tank now.
One thing that Ivogan cannot do is it cannot pay for days. And that makes me so happy.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Alright, thought not see her for 2.
Whoa, don't be announcing triggers, boy. That has not entered the battlefield yet, my man. Just daze it, man. Daze it. Ah, that is a... Unless he needs the mana for something. That is a misplay by the boy.
I have Rugen. Not clear on how the interaction works.
So, thought not see it cost 1 generic mana and 1 colourless mana, and Sean paid 2 colourless mana for it with his Ancient Tomb mana. Had no opportunity to pay any more mana.
Sure, but I can see Cael's an old school man. Look at that. Brainstorms into a fetch land.
Whew.
He knows how multiple fetch lands actually. He knows how we do it.
He's got another daze in his hand. This is a bit of a doozy by Cael.
It's a calculated risk and it's paid off.
It's all good. You can't win them all. You can't even try. So,
I think the problem with it is the untapped land. Look how old school Cael is. He actually taps wasteland rather than just pointing.
I tend to just stare down my opponent.
Oh, there we go. So Deathrite makes another Deathrite free on the house. Right,
Cannot activate that Mishra's Factory. Get wrecked. Eldrazi, BDFO.
So we're seeing a bit of the clunkiness of the Eldrazi draws right now. Sean's mulligan to 6. Kept a reasonable hand. It's not great by any means.
Yeah, he's not keen to trade off his Eldrazi Mimic because having no threats on the board.
Is that a 3-2?
That is a 2-1.
2-1. Well,
But whenever a colourless creature enters the outside of the battlefield, you may make it a Parent Toughness. Combos with Phyrexian Dreadnought.
Combos with Dismember.
I don't get it.
So if something enters the battlefield, like let's say a 5-5, and then you dismember targeting the 5-5, then the Mimic becomes a 0-0.
Ooh, got him. Ah, yeah. I've never had that come up.
Apparently it came up at GP Melbourne.
Yeah, I hated that GP.
Someone had to play Eldrazi. Why wasn't it you?
Why wasn't it 70% of the format? Ask me if I'm sad. Okay, Cael's found a second Wasteland here. Confirmed for powerful. I would be making a beeline for that Ivogan.
Is that another fetch land?
Yeah. Actually, that's a Flooded Strand.
Flooded Strand.
Fantastic, flawless execution of that brainstorm by Cael McGann over there.
Sean looks confident, doesn't he?
See, this is how I know Cael's a more patient man than I, is he hasn't thrown the Wasteland at Sean. Like, I would be crossing the barriers of playmats at this point. Like, that's why I can't buy nice Wastelands. Like, they will get flung right out.
You have to throw Wastelands.
You just got it.
Yeah, it's how I do them. 4 Wastelands, still throw them.
Ninja Stars, man. Back from my Naruto days. There were never any Naruto days.
What's Naruto?
Why are you watching those Japanese cartoons again?
So Cael's pondering on the brainstorm now, possibly putting a fetch land back because he's got an excess of fetch lands in his hand.
Doesn't have to play around engineered explosives from the monocolourless deck, so he can run out as many 1-drops as he wants.
I think it's nice for Delver to be able to play all the 1-drops.
Yeah, not have to play around maybe Terminus or... The only time I like Terminus is when it's the pub near Games Live, that's it.
When it's the pub near Games?
Games Live, that's the pub. That's the pre-legacy beers.
Yeah.
Pub.
So the brainstorm has resolved and he hasn't wastelanded him.
Whew.
Cael.
Come on, mate.
Wasteland.
This is powerful, days it.
So I assume from that, Cael doesn't understand that Ivy doesn't tap for anything.
Okay, so he's...
Yeah, so...
The Ivy has 2 abilities. It says colorless Eldrazi costs you 2 generic mana less and has 7
Alright, Cael, that's it. I like it. Yes.
Ooh, powerful.
So Sean has been basically 2 for 1 out of the game so far. Picks up another Simian Spirit card. Well, that's good. They can exile it to make another 2/2 for himself again.
You can... He's got a Warping Wail in hand. Card's fine.
Sean trading... Cael, sorry, trading off the Deathrite Shaman. What is this? Oh, Deathrite to Deathrite to Deathrite.
Okay, Sean has very few permanents on the battlefield. This is not where the deck wants to be. It wants to operate on a bunch of lands.
Right, so the Warping Whale takes out, and I think this Daisy is going to snap right off. Cael thinking about it, but yep.
What was that? That playtest card is confirmed for an island. Not sure which one.
No, I think that one, it's a Underground Sea, because there's a swamp on the back of it.
Ah, yeah.
So
Okay, this is actually quite logical from Cael.
yeah, because some are mountains. Factory beats, get in there. Right, so the Chalice on 1. But Factory attacks for 2, Deathrite drains for 2.
He's got another Daze in hand. Good place to be. So Sean is not locking himself out of playing spells by attacking with the Factory, which he may or may not have spells in hand.
He's got another Cavern. I will presume both are naming Eldrazi, but you never know. One could name Ape.
One could name Steve Stamopoulos. casting Curd Ape uncounterable.
Curd Ape's really ripped. I'm not ripped like Curd Ape.
It's like the original Force of Will. I mean, what's that? What is the art on that? And why doesn't it come in foil?
The question Steve Capodilla asks. Alright, hard cast Dismember.
Ooh, that's
a Stone Rain.
That is a 3 mana wasteland.
That is a Stone Rain. That is an honest to goodness instant speed Stone Rain. Right, so the Cael's flooding out a bit here, but judiciously keeping in lands to brainstorm away through the Chalice.
Ooh, fantastic.
But he's doing okay. He's got a clock on the board. It's all Delve needs. Deathrite's happy to take over a game. There's plenty of creatures in the bin to give himself some health, rejuvenate.
Have a spa day, go up some high.
Alright, Ratchet Bomb. Now,
see, I would contemplate dazing that here, just to get him to activate his Ancient Tomb, because I feel like Sean's pretty close to dead at this point.
I think Cael's just looking for any threat now. Preferably a
Cool.
Gourmet Gangler.
Draw that.
Draw that Winter Orb, Cael.
Yeah.
Shuffle it to the top of your library. Boom, got him.
What's this? He's not cheating.
Yeah.
It's Liguchi, you're allowed to.
He's actually playing Magic. Who does that anymore? Alright, so Sean takes another 2 from the Deathrite.
Who was that bloke? Alex Bocconcini?
What's the cheese? Bocconcini. Alex Bertoncini.
Alex Bertoncini.
Alright, so Cael draws another Ponder, which he can't cast with the Chalice. But at least he's not under much pressure now. The Ratchet Bomb is at 1 now, though, so he can safely take out Deathrite Shaman. And we have a... what's that?
That is an endless 1 for...
1.
Who? Sean with the generous give.
Gives the takebacks.
Endless 1, also known as the Proto Hydra, because he is not green in X, he's just X.
Oh, okay. Is the Proto a Hydra?
No, the Proto Hydra. He's
Proto.
All other Hydras are based off him, even though he's the most recent one.
Look at that. Cael's drawn the Winter Orb.
Oh,
I don't know.
in good time. He's playing that off 1 land is way more powerful than I.
Maybe it's a proxy card because there's something in front. It's not quite clear at this moment what he's actually doing.
So he's casting a spell we don't know off lands we don't know.
What the fuck just happened? Why is that in the bin?
Oh, we cooked it, boys. We couldn't understand.
What was that?
Was that Shatterstorm or something?
But the Eldrazi's not an artifact.
Was that Ancient Grudge flashback? No, that can't kill Eldrazi moves.
I thought maybe it could have been.
Okay, if anyone knows what that card is, because it got rid of a Chalice of the Void and an Endless one, unless it was engineered explosives for 0, which does.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which does clean up Endless one.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Like,
he did tap a land for it though. No, he's not. He blew it up, played a Delver, and pondered, didn't he? Another Ratchet Bomb.
Whew.
So we're getting into territory now where Sean is drawing answers but no real threats. So the Delver's going to flip to a Gitaxian Probe.
Cael generously flips his own Delver this time. Takes it all the way out of the sleeve.
Ultra Pro sleeves. Not a fan, Cael. Gotta protect your cards, man.
Ultra Pro. Is that inner sleeved?
He's got an inner sleeve. Alright. Now, Cael playing into the Ratchet Bomb.
Ooh,
And,
yep.
And new rules Delver goes as well.
Get punked out by Ratchet Bomb. Ratchet Bomb is a very powerful card in the matchup.
Ratchet Bomb is very underplayed in general. The card's excellent.
Ooh, that's a bolt.
It's a Gitaxian Probe, seeing a Smasher and...
Dismember?
Yeah.
Sean's not that healthy at the moment, so that
Which
Dismember's...
member?
This one. So... Sean tanking. Thinking about casting a Reality Smasher or not casting a Reality Smasher.
He's got 6 mana. I think now's the time to go for it.
He's probably putting him into lethal range from a Lightning Bolt. Life totals are pretty relevant, boys.
Cael's got a bit of a lean on. He can tell he's close. Sean deep in the tank now.
Deep in the tank, thinking for outs. Probably won't find one.
Thinking for odds.
He's saying, man,
Yeah, he must be very, very, very close to lethal.
Well, he's activated that Ancient Tomb, an Ancient Tomb 3 or 4 times in the matchup.
Yeah, and he's been hit by Deathrite Shaman's going to town.
Cael's draw could have been I think Cael could have probably just stomped Sean this game if he didn't exile his force. Like if he didn't force, if he dazed turn.
He hasn't really had many relevant. He hasn't really had many relevant draws in like that. I think that would change the sort of force and daze matchup. I think playing into the Ratchet Bomb was probably the mistake though.
I think if he hung on to his force, he could have probably taken out the first Ratchet Bomb and maybe just rode that to victory. Like rode the Deathrite to victory, maybe.
Well, here we have Young Pyromance from Cael and
an uncounterable Reality Smusher.
So there's an Urborg there.
No, there's no Urborg. That's an Eldrazi Temple.
Eldrazi Temple.
It's an Eldrazi Temple of Cavern Souls. So you're paying 3 mana with your Eye of Ugin for a 5/5.
I like the days here. I presume he is another one, right?
So it's an uncounterable one. He's just getting a 1/1 token, which means Sean's life total is sweet stuff all.
Cael outplaying me from the video table. From the booth.
Sean thinking, yo, I cannot cast this Dismember or else I die. Remember, hey. So Reality Smasher is the text of when this is targeted by a spell, your opponent must discard a spell. Ooh, the mistrigger on that. You must discard another card or else that spell gets countered.
Yeah, and Sean shows. You sure that was Dismember?
I believe it was. I think it's either the Bio Box or the F&M promo Dismember.
Oh, promos.
Hey man,
So-
big fan of promo. I nearly promoed out Rogue Twin back when I played.
Well, good matchup there. We actually had some back and forth. See you in round 3.